goal has been to shoot a film on the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, and quite recently in Singapore I pushed the camera to the limits on the anamorphic lenses. Very impressive for a pocket camera, and I now know that it is possible to shoot a film on this camera as it does hold up. But the next step after arriving in Melbourne is to actually put the pieces in place to make this film happen. Melbourne has a very different vibe. Today we will go through a few different steps in the process, one of them being how I can use the anamorphic lens but on a 2x zoom to create a cinematic look. With the DJI Osmo Pocket 4P coming out, well, I want to still push this camera to the limit and see how it holds up, but also on my morning walk I want to test out the look of this camera with a little bit more grading than I usually would do. So today we'll also use Dehancer. Now in Singapore, the look was very beautiful, but I didn't do much grading as I want to show the capability of this camera without grading. Now do watch my last few episodes as they were all set in Singapore, and before that I did have another handful of episodes all shot on the DJI Osmo Pocket 4. Unlike other people, I actually use the camera that I am talking about, and I shoot every single scene on that said camera. Therefore, you get to see exactly what the camera is capable of. Now, let's move to the anamorphic lens and get this shoot on the road.
And we're going to focus on a 2x zoom, a little bit more compression. Like, this here's a cool shot walking past this. See? Shot, but because you can't zoom on slow motion, I think that is one limitation that I would like to see it improve on. The ability to have zoom with slow motion, so you can really get that kind of, you know, the shots that I do where I use slow motion and I go, it's just a simple arm move, but they're shooting in so many different environments. I'm pretty sure that the audio is holding up just fine, because in Singapore it was definitely louder. And what I'm doing now is I'm just testing active track, just on the 2x zoom. The good thing about the 2x zoom too is, okay, I'm guessing that's pretty loud to the right there, or to the left there, but because I'm on the 2x zoom, I can't even see my arm length. So like, I could literally just like hold my arm out and it just like frames me for that really like long take tracking shot style, just chatting. I think that's really cool with the 2x zoom. Like if I just drop into character right now, chuck a voiceover over it.
Now our director here is going through a health condition. The audience may not know exactly how he's feeling, but know this, he's on these pills that don't make him feel great and he can't drink anymore, which is one of his most favourite things to do, but he's put all his anxiety into filmmaking and that's why he's vlogging so much lately.
Alright, so you can't really see it, right, but all I literally have is just, pull this out, just me, Palasin extender. And that's more just so I can use magnetic things to clip onto, like for example, boom.
Most of the audience don't know this, but on his headphones he has the Smiths blasting because lately he's been obsessed with death. And that's just what's been on his mind as a creative. Now he's going to put all these thoughts into a script, hopefully.
I want to do something a little different when I show a camera. I want to just actually use it in the real world, in the real environment, how someone else would. You know, not everyone's going to set up a radio mic. Most people are probably just going to pull it out and just start shooting and talking. And that's what you're getting here. Except on the anamorphic lens with a slight more cinematic setup and with a filmmaker who's made feature and short films before. You get to see what a little bit of practice, skill and talent go when they go hand in hand with the whole vlogging kind of aesthetic. But also I want to also say what's interesting too is like so many people talk about ND filters, which I don't always use. So today I thought I'd pull out the NDs and actually use them, just because I know, like, you know, the 180 rule is something that a lot of people say is really, you know, what makes something cinematic, quote unquote. But sometimes I prioritize the moment over whether I have NDs or not. For example, seeing something cool with cool texture right now.
Tested this camera now. I know it's capable. There are films like Left-Handed Girl out there, which is actually on Netflix, and Sean Baker's body of work. Things like Tangerine, and there was a short film that he did with Kenzo in 2016, I believe, and it was a really beautiful short film, also shot on the consumer gear that he uses, the iPhone. I know this camera is more than capable. I've tested the anamorphic. I've used it in different environments, in Singapore, in humidity, and I've used it here in Melbourne in the cold. I've tested the 2x zoom enough to know that it does hold up. I'll look today to see how it holds up with long takes because I've kind of done it in shorter snippets. But yeah, where we are right now is a position where I know it's capable, but now the ideas, well, they're not flowing how I'd like them to. And yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that. Every time I try to film, every time I go to write, I go back into camera testing mode. Every time I come up with an idea, I struggle with putting that idea into action because I'm thinking about getting the next episode up. So it's not like I want to stop showing the process of how this is done because I value the process of how this is done. I think it's really exciting that I get to document the process of how it's done, but I've got to find a way to use the limitations the same way these filmmakers that I am referring to use those limitations to make something beautiful, to show the process, but also make the film. So I propose an idea, and this is something that I've been thinking of for a bit. Maybe, just maybe, I'm going to set the limitation of making the film, the first film I do on this, not the eventual product, which is a feature. The first thing I want to do is make a film. And this film can be low stakes for me. I'll be the lead in it, and I'll film it solo with no cast or crew. And a very decent short runtime, not a very long short film. Some short films can go to 20, 30 minutes, you know? So this can be a very sweet executed concept solo. And I think that will take the pressure off me, but also allow me to once again, use the capabilities, showcase them, but also actually finish a film on this camera. So that's going to be step one, I think, before I move to casting and making a film with, I guess you could say, more mechanisms around the production. The way that I used to make films, you know, my biggest cast and crews were dozens of people. So before I get back to that stage, I need to build the confidence again. It's like getting back on a bike for the first time in a few years, you know. Haven't directed a film with a big cast or crew in a while. Now, last year, my film was nominated at the St Kilda Film Festival for Best Film, one of 5 Australian films, top Australian Film Awards. I was very, very privileged and lucky to do that. And that film was actually about one character, and that character does not interact with anyone else in the whole film except on the phone. The film is actually about what happens to people when they fall beneath the cracks of society. And I think I can make a film again, kind of in that vein, except with myself as the lead. I've proved that I can do it, and that film obviously had a director of photography, it had a really amazing actor who is just absolutely stellar, but I'm going to use my own limitations to play a character, I think. And I think that I can pull this off, doing it solo. Hello! I think I can pull it off doing it solo. So, I think that's my spiel for this episode. I think the testing of this camera has been really useful in seeing what's capable, what's possible. But yeah, I think that's the next step. So yeah, that's where we're heading.